So on this day in 1996, the 12th of October, Arsene Wenger took charge of his first match as manager of Arsenal. I wonder how that worked out. Hello, my name is Richard. Welcome back to my channel over and over and over again, which features everything to do with Arsenal. In this video, I just really want to look back at this day, the 12th of October 1996, which of course marked the first official match in charge of Arsenal for Arsene Wenger. That was a game away at Blackburn Rovers. Of course, he had been on the bench a few weeks previously in a UEFA Cup game away at Borussia Mönchengladbach, but that was just in an advisory capacity, and this was his first official match in charge. Of course, it comes on the eve of the release of his autobiography, A Life in Red and White, of course, which comes out tomorrow. Much anticipated book that is as well, so I'm going to talk about that in this video as well. Before I get into all that, I just want to make sure that you are all subscribing to my channel. If you like what I do, please click the subscribe button down below. If you like this video as well, please give it a thumbs up, because it really does help it to grow as well. And if you've got any comments about this video, about Arsene Wenger, about his book, about anything at all to do with the club, please leave it in the comments box below, because I do love to hear what you guys think about it all as well. So I say this day, 1996, the 12th of October, Arsene Wenger took charge of his first match officially as the manager of the club. He had been unveiled a couple of weeks previously at the beginning of October, but of course there'd been an international break in the meantime, so this was the first match that we played. Now, although we knew Arsene Wenger was going to become the manager for quite a while before it was unveiled, the signing of Patrick Vieira and Remy Gard back in September had sort of alerted us really to this fact. It was all over the media, and it wasn't much of a surprise when he was finally unveiled. Now, we'd had actually quite a good start to the season. The previous 8 games in the Premier League, first 8 games, we'd only lost one of them, which was away at Liverpool. We'd been on a good run. We'd won the previous 3 games in the Premier League as well, which was great. So we came into the game in second place, in good form. So Arsene Wenger came along at a good time, really. The only doubt there was the fact that we still had a lot of the George Graham players that were still there. A lot of them were getting into their 30s, and it did appear as though they were all reaching the end of their career. And my personal feeling was that Arsene Wenger was going to have to come in and start a rebuild job. Bearing in mind we'd finished 12th in George Graham's last season, although Bruce Rioch had improved us to 5th place. We still look quite a long way off really challenging, didn't we? With quite an ageing team as well. And I felt as though Arsene Wenger had a quite a difficult job actually. Straight away though, he made an impact with the way that we played. We started to play a lot more quicker passing. Bearing in mind as well, of course, he did come in with his new training methods, the new diet regime, and also as well, of course, the supplements and stuff like that. And what he was able to do was bide himself some time, because he managed to get a few more years out of all these experienced players. The back 5, players like Ian Wright as well, of course, had had a difficult time under Bruce Rioch. He revitalised his career, and of course he was fortunate that Dennis Bergkamp was about to reach, of course, the peak of his career at Arsenal over the next few years, and of course the impact that Patrick Vieira, of course, would have. And I think it was the signing of Vieira in particular that really made us straight away trust Arsene Wenger. We knew that it had been his recommendation that we'd signed him, and what an impact he'd made straight away on his debut against Sheffield Wednesday, if you remember when he came on. Had a great game there. He transformed our team. And of course, with the additions that Arsene Wenger would make over the next year or two, we became a team that, of course, would win the double in 1998, which, of course, our first Premier League title that was as well. So the impact he made was amazing, wasn't it? In a very, very short period of time. Going back to that very first game at Blackburn, I don't know if you were there that day. It was a good game actually. Just 3 minutes into Arsene Wenger's first official match, we scored. And of course it was Ian Wright who got the goal, if you remember. A good goal it was as well, a nice little finish inside the defender. And then early in the second half, Ian Wright got a second goal, a great solo effort that was as well. And we won the game 2-0, so it kept us in second place in the league. And we would drop no lower than 3rd for the rest of the season. In fact, 3rd was where we finished, if you remember, just missing out on the Champions League spot. We'd had a few difficult seasons really in terms of the football that we were playing. It was quite dull to watch. But this season there was a total change, and at the end of the season I think we're all excited about the football that we've been witnessing. and about where we could go under Arsene Wenger. And of course, very quickly, we would enjoy some amazing success and some amazing times. Now, of course, it didn't quite finish as well as it started, did it, for Arsene Wenger or Arsenal, unfortunately. I've got to be honest, I felt as though he took a lot of unfair criticism. What we need to remember is that building a new stadium made it very difficult for Arsene Wenger to improve the squad. You know, he had to, well, he was forced into selling, wasn't he, many of the best players that we had, you know, people like Cesc Fabregas, later on Robin van Persie and people like that. And it was difficult to find adequate replacements with the budget that we had, unfortunately, due to the money tied up in the stadium. But despite that, Arsene Wenger was able to keep us in the top four, which was so important. It's got almost dismissed, really, that achievement, because it wasn't a trophy, you know, it's over the top four. But it was vital for the club at that time to get that extra revenue from the Champions League. It was so important, and every year, despite it sometimes looking as though we wouldn't do it, he always managed to find a way, didn't he, to get us into that top four, which was fantastic. And of course, once we finally managed to get a few more funds to improve the squad, if you remember the signing of Mesut Ozil in 2013, when we broke our club transfer record, that season we went on to win the FA Cup, break our trophy drought. And of course, Arsene Wenger ended up winning 3 FA Cups, didn't he, in the final few years of his time at Arsenal, which again was a fantastic achievement. You know, nobody in the history of English football has won more FA Cups than Arsene Wenger, and no Arsenal managers won more than the 10 trophies that he brought us. So I do feel as though maybe time has helped a little bit, and I do think maybe more and more people appreciate the job Arsene Wenger did, although I've still seen some very negative comments about him recently as well, obviously ahead of his autobiography being released tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to that book. I think it's going to be great to get Arsene Wenger's take on a lot of the stuff that maybe at the time he wasn't allowed to talk about. You know, so many of his press conferences, if you remember, he was dodging the questions, really, or he wasn't able to give the answers that we all wanted. But now, of course, he's got that opportunity in his book, hasn't he? So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm sure he's going to be respectful to the club, but I'm also hoping that he does give some great inside information that he wasn't able to give us at the time when he was there, for obvious reasons. So I think the book's going to be great, actually. I'm really looking forward to particularly reading the part towards the end, his last few years at the club, obviously the problems that were going on there. I remember him saying at one point, I think it might have been when the Alexis Sanchez kind of drama was going on, and I remember him saying about there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, which he said, I can't talk about that now, but it'll come out eventually, and maybe this is the time it will come out, so I'll be really interested to find out about that. I do remember a game actually at Liverpool, I think it was about 2017, we lost 3-1, I don't know if you remember the game. Alexis Sanchez started on the bench, which was quite a shock. I think there have been a few issues going on, so it might be interesting to find out what happened there. I remember Sanchez came on at half time in that game, made a big difference, didn't he? Set up the goal for Danny Welbeck, and we almost came back from 2-0 down. We ended up losing 3-1 in the end though, but there's a few issues there, so I'll be quite interested to see what happened at that particular time. And of course, that whole thing with Mesut Ozil as well is bound to get a mention, isn't it? I do think Arsene Wenger had a special relationship with Ozil that other managers since haven't quite had, have they? And I do think that's probably why Mesut Ozil's career at Arsenal has rapidly declined in the intervening period since Arsene Wenger left. But of course as well, I think we're all going to be really interested in the great stories from the glory years, if you like, the sort of first 10 years that Arsene Wenger was at Arsenal, all the trophies that we won, the invincible team, and how great that must have been. And I'm guessing as well that his biggest regret will obviously be the 2006 Champions League final, won't it? Where we came so close, didn't we, to winning that trophy for the first time in their history. And I think that would have been the icing on the cake for Wenger. I think that's the only thing missing really from his whole period at Arsenal was a European trophy, particularly the Champions League. I do think he was so obsessed with trying to win it towards the end that it maybe was at the expense of us possibly doing better in some of the other cup competitions. But you can understand why I think that 2006 game really did hurt him. So I'll be really interested as well to read his take on that, really, at that whole situation there. Probably the most disappointing night for any Arsenal fan, I think. I can't think of a game that's caused more disappointment really to me personally. You know, we were so close to winning that trophy, and hopefully we'll get another opportunity in the next few years now under Mikel Arteta, but that'll be for another day. So that's out there then, just to look back on this day. Of course, 24 years ago when we made our first official game under Arsene Wenger. I say ahead of his autobiography, which is released tomorrow. I'm not sure when I'll be actually able to read it. What I will do is, once I've had an opportunity to read the book, I will be doing a video about the book, actually, my thoughts on it and stuff like that. So if you haven't got it, I really suggest that you do order it, pre-order it, get it bought tomorrow, because it's going to be great, isn't it? What a great book it's going to be. So I might not be around for the next few days, as I spend the whole time reading that. But there is going to be loads of stuff coming up on the channel anyway. Obviously building up to the Man City game on Saturday, which is going to be a massive game, of course, in the Premier League for us and for Manchester City. Obviously I think we're all feeling a lot more optimistic about our chances of getting a result there. And also as well, of course, you know, it's going to be hopefully the debut for Thomas Partey, which I know we're all excited about as well, aren't we? So loads to look forward to. I'll be doing a full preview of that game in the build-up later on in the week, probably Thursday that'll get released. I'm hoping to do another live Positive Arsenal podcast as well, and again that might be on Thursday as well. So stay tuned to the channel for all of that. Loads of good stuff coming up. I'll say, as we head in towards now a really busy period of the season as well, isn't it, with the Europa League starting as well, in the build-up, of course, towards Christmas, assuming of course that football can still carry on with the latest new restrictions coming into place obviously this week, by the look of it. News on that coming out later today as well, so we'll see what happens with all of that. But hopefully football can continue, we can still enjoy watching what has been so far a really good season for Arsenal, and the prospect of it getting a lot better as well. So thanks for watching this video. Thanks for your support for the channel. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe down below, and please give this video a thumbs up as well if you like it. I say please add your comments as well. What you thought of Arsene Wenger. Did he stay too long? I guess he did, really, didn't he? Unfortunately, maybe a couple of years too long. It would have been nice for him to have gone out having won one of them FA Cups, wouldn't it, I suppose. But it's what it is, and you know, at the end of the day, we are now in a much stronger position than we have been any time since he left, so we need to put that behind us, enjoy what he brought us, enjoy the book, and now let's enjoy what we've got coming, which I'm sure is going to be maybe not quite reach the same heights as it did at the peak of Arsene Wenger, but certainly some good times, I believe, are coming, and we need to enjoy that as well, don't we? So thanks for watching. Stay tuned to the channel later on this week. A lot of good stuff coming up, and of course in the meantime, as always, come on you Gunners!